And the Lord said to Moses, Tell Aaron and his sons to keep away from the holy things of the sons of Israel, which they dedicate to me, so that they may not profane my holy name. I am the Lord. Say to them, if any one of all your descendants throughout your generations approaches the holy things, which the sons of Israel dedicate to the Lord, while he has an uncleanness, that person shall be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. None of the line of Aaron, who is a leper or suffers a discharge, may eat of the holy things until he is clean. Whoever touches anything that is unclean through contact with the dead, or a man who has an emission of semen, and whoever touches a creeping thing by which he may be made unclean, or a man from whom he may take uncleanness, whatever his uncleanness may be, the person who touches any such shall be unclean until the evening, and shall not eat of the holy things unless he has bathed his body in water. When the sun is down, he shall be clean, and afterward he may eat of the holy things, because such are his food. That which dies of itself, or is torn by beasts, he shall not eat, defiling himself by it. I am the Lord. They shall therefore keep my charge, lest they bear sin for it and die thereby when they profane it. I am the Lord who sanctify them. An outsider shall not eat of a holy thing. A sojourner of the priests or a hired servant shall not eat of a holy thing. But if a priest buys a slave as his property for money, the slave may eat of it, and those that are born in his house may eat of his food. If a priest's daughter is married to an outsider, she shall not eat of the offering of the holy things. But if a priest's daughter is a widow or divorced, and has no child, and returns to her father's house, as in her youth, she may eat of her father's food, yet no outsider shall eat of it. And if a man eats of a holy thing unwittingly, he shall add the fifth of its value to it, and give the holy thing to the priest. The priests shall not profane the holy things of the sons of Israel, which they offer to the Lord, and so cause them to bear iniquity and guilt by eating their holy things. For I am the Lord who sanctify them. And the Lord said to Moses, Say to Aaron and his sons, and all the people of Israel, when any one of the house of Israel, or of the sojourners in Israel, presents his offering, whether in payment of a vow, or as a freewill offering which is offered to the Lord as a burnt offering, to be accepted, you shall offer a male without blemish, of the bulls, or the sheep, or the goats. You shall not offer anything that has a blemish, for it will not be acceptable for you. And when anyone offers a sacrifice of peace offerings to the Lord, to fulfill a vow, or as a freewill offering from the herd, or from the flock, to be accepted, it must be perfect. There shall be no blemish in it. Animals blind, or disabled, or mutilated, or having a discharge, or an itch, or scabs, you shall not offer to the Lord, or make of them an offering by fire upon the altar to the Lord. A bull or a lamb which has a part too long or too short you may present for a freewill offering, but for a votive offering it cannot be accepted. Any animal which has its testicles bruised, or crushed, or torn, or cut, you shall not offer to the Lord or sacrifice within your land. Neither shall you offer as the bread of your God any such animals gotten from a foreigner. Since there is a blemish in them, because of their mutilation, they will not be accepted for you. And the Lord said to Moses, When a bull or sheep or goat is born, it shall remain 7 days with its mother, and from the 8th day on it shall be acceptable as an offering by fire to the Lord. And whether the mother is a cow or an ewe, you shall not kill both her and her young in 1 day. And when you sacrifice a sacrifice of thanksgiving to the Lord, you shall sacrifice it so that you may be accepted. It shall be eaten on the same day. You shall leave none of it until morning. I am the Lord. So you shall keep my commandments and do them. I am the Lord. And you shall not profane my holy name. But I will be hallowed among the sons of Israel. I am the Lord who sanctify you, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, to be your God. I am the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, Say to the sons of Israel, The appointed feasts of the Lord, which you shall proclaim as holy convocations, my appointed feasts are these. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day, a Sabbath of solemn rest, a holy convocation, you shall do no work. It is a Sabbath to the Lord in your dwellings. These are the appointed feasts of the Lord, the holy convocations, which you shall proclaim at the time appointed for them. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month in the evening, is the Lord's Passover, and on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread to the Lord. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work. But you shall present an offering by fire to the Lord 7 days. On the 7th day is a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work. And the Lord said to Moses, Say to the sons of Israel, When you come into the land which I give you and reap its harvest, you shall bring the sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest, and he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord, that you may find acceptance. On the day after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. And on the day when you wave the sheaf, you shall offer a male lamb, a year old, without blemish, as a burnt offering to the Lord. And the cereal offering with it shall be 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, to be offered by fire to the Lord, a pleasing odor. And the drink offering with it shall be of wine, 1/4 of a hin. And you shall eat neither bread nor grain, parched or fresh, until this same day, until you have brought the offering of your God. It is a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And you shall count from the day after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 full weeks shall they be, counting 50 days, to the day after the 7th Sabbath. Then you shall present a cereal offering of new grain to the Lord. You shall bring from your dwellings 2 loaves of bread to be waved, made of 2/10 of an ephah. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baked with leaven, as first fruits to the Lord. And you shall present with the bread 7 lambs a year old without blemish, and 1 young bull, and 2 rams. They shall be a burnt offering to the Lord, with their cereal offering, and their drink offerings, an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord. And you shall offer 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 male lambs, a year old, as a sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits as a wave offering before the Lord, with the 2 lambs. They shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. And ye shall make proclamation on the same day. You shall hold a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work. It is a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. And when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap your field to its very border, nor shall you gather the gleanings after your harvest. You shall leave them for the poor and for the stranger. I am the Lord your God. And the Lord said to Moses, Say to the sons of Israel in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, You shall observe a day of solemn rest, a memorial proclaimed with blast of trumpets, a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work, and you shall present an offering by fire to the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, On the 10th day of the 7th month is the day of atonement. It shall be for you a time of holy convocation. And you shall afflict yourselves and present an offering by fire to the Lord. And you shall do no work on this same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make atonement for you before the Lord your God. For whoever is not afflicted on this same day shall be cut off from his people. And whoever does any work on this same day, that person I will destroy from among his people. You shall do no work. It is a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be to you a Sabbath of solemn rest, and you shall afflict yourselves on the 9th day of the month, beginning at evening. From evening to evening shall you keep your Sabbath. And the Lord said to Moses, Say to the sons of Israel, On the 15th day of the 7th month, and for 7 days, is the feast of booths to the Lord. On the first day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work. 7 days you shall present offerings by fire to the Lord. On the 8th day you shall hold a holy convocation and present an offering by fire to the Lord. It is a solemn assembly. You shall do no laborious work. These are the appointed feasts of the Lord, which you shall proclaim as times of holy convocation, for presenting to the Lord offerings by fire, burnt offerings and cereal offerings, sacrifices and drink offerings, each on its proper day, besides the Sabbaths of the Lord, and besides your gifts, and besides all your votive offerings, and besides all your freewill offerings, which you give to the Lord. On the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the produce of the land, ye shall keep the feast of the Lord 7 days. On the 1st day shall be a solemn rest, and on the 8th day shall be a solemn rest. And ye shall take on the 1st day the fruit of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days. You shall keep it as a feast to the Lord 7 days in the year. It is a statute forever throughout your generations. You shall keep it in the 7th month. You shall dwell in booths for 7 days. All that are native in Israel shall dwell in booths, that your generations may know that I made the sons of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Thus Moses declared to the sons of Israel the appointed feasts of the Lord. To the choirmaster, a psalm of the sons of Korah, according to Alamoth, a song. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with its tumult. Selah. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. The nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us, the God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Come, behold the works of the Lord, how he has wrought desolations in the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Then he went home, and the crowd came together again, so that they could not even eat. And when his friends heard it, they went out to seize him, for they said, He is beside himself. And the scribes who came down from Jerusalem said, He is possessed by Beelzebul, and by the prince of demons he casts out the demons. And he called them to him, and said to them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house is divided against itself, that house will not be able to stand. And if Satan has risen up against himself and is divided, he cannot stand, but is coming to an end. But no one can enter a strong man's house and plunder his goods, unless he first binds the strong man. Then indeed he may plunder his house. Truly, I say to you, all sins will be forgiven the sons of men, and whatever blasphemies they utter. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit never has forgiveness, but is guilty of an eternal sin. For they had said, He has an unclean spirit. And his mother and his brethren came, and standing outside, they sent to him and called him. And a crowd was sitting about him, and they said to him, Your mother and your brethren are outside, asking for you. And he replied, Who are my mother and my brethren? And looking around on those who sat about him, he said, Here are my mother and my brethren. Whoever does the will of God is my brother, and my sister, and mother. Business can dominate life. Getting things done, especially profitable and practical things, can itself become an idol in our lives. We can become so busy, so goal-oriented, so committed, that we forget about sitting still, about resting in the presence of God and in His merciful love. This is part of the reason that God establishes not only the weekly Sabbath, but a whole calendar of feasts and holy days. These days would be set apart from normal business, and like the Sabbath, would form a temple in time, wherein one could find rest. Holidays are set apart and truly made holy by God's command to keep the feast, to rejoice, and to engage in special rituals that commemorate moments in salvation history. For example, Passover recalls the night of deliverance from Egypt, and the Feast of Booths recalls the wilderness wanderings. These holidays remind us that God is our refuge and strength, and that our role is not always to work constantly, but sometimes to pause and be still and know that I am God. When we regularly allow the Lord to interrupt our business with His presence, we get back in touch with His call on our lives. How can you be still and make time for the Lord?